Starlink is killing off your ability to pause your service for free. Starting on September 13th, if you want to keep your dish on standby, you're going to have to use Standby Mode, which is going to cost you $5 per month. Standby Mode basically just keeps your dish connected to the Starlink constellation of satellites, and it gives you extremely throttled bandwidth. You only get 500 kilobits per second, which is slower than DSL speeds. It's meant for Wi-Fi calls, text messages, and then instant reactivation when you want to resume your service on a higher tier plan. Here I have an old Generation 3 Starlink dish that I am going to attempt to activate into standby mode. So let's hook this thing back up. Now, one of the benefits of using standby mode is that when you have a deactivated dish, it can be kind of a pain in the butt to get it reactivated, because while you can reactivate through the Starlink dish itself using the app on your phone, sometimes, especially if you have two-factor authentication on your Starlink account, you need to receive that code via email. And if you're in an area where you don't have any sort of cellular coverage to receive that email, then you're kind of out of luck. So it can be a pain, though I have done it in the past, and we will attempt to do it again right now. Okay, everything's connected. Now we plug it into power, and in just a few moments, the SSID should be available for me to connect to, and then I should see this dish through the Starlink app. All right, I had to move the dish so that it had a better view of the sky, but basically I plugged it in, it ran through some updates, and now that I'm on the latest version, if I come over here to the app, I can see service paused, resume service to reactivate Starlink. I'm gonna click learn more, manage subscription, and then if I click into service plan, I can see the service plan is paused and it wants me to reactivate on the Roam Unlimited plan, which is what I had this device on previously. But if I click reactivate service just below that, I can now see standby mode for $5 per month. And let's go ahead and activate it. And now we can see that my current mode is standby mode. I'm going to give it a few minutes to sort of settle in, and then we're going to run some speed tests. Starlink is now online, and as we can see in the app here, I am on a low speed plan. Your Starlink is on a low speed service plan. To resume high speed, change your service plan below. Let's run a speed test through the app here, and we'll do phone to internet and start. And it should be throttled at about a half a megabit, and it looks like we're definitely in that range. All right. Hi, Henry. Let's try speedtest.net. And we are throttled down to 0.38 down and 0.45 up. But the question is, why exactly is Starlink doing this? Theory number one is it's a cash grab. And when I first heard about this, I assumed that's what it is. It's a cash grab by Starlink, which it kind of is, I guess, but like at $5 per month per deactivated dish, that's not really going to make or break the company. But maybe it's theory number two, they're going to get you with overage charges. Maybe they're counting on people going over some data cap, and then they're going to be charging them a lot of money for overages. I mean, let's say you're using Starlink on standby mode as backup to your normal internet connection, and then your internet connection goes out and you don't realize that you're using Starlink. And then maybe you rack up a bunch of charges, but that actually doesn't seem to be the case. There's no data cap with Starlink standby mode. It's simply throttled to hell down to 500 kbps. In the frequently asked questions, it even states that standby mode does not include high speed or overage data. You'd have to explicitly resume normal services to get those higher speeds again. Theory number three, maybe it's a reservation system to keep your spot in line. So people who are on the residential plan in crowded service areas can maybe switch to standby mode so that they can save on their monthly bill, but then when they resume service, they're guaranteed a spot back on their previous residential plan. But no, that's actually not the case. They specifically state that standby mode does not reserve your spot on a residential plan. If you're in an area that's at capacity when you try to resume service, you may not be able to reactivate. But you would still be able to reactivate on one of the more expensive roaming plans. So then my final theory here is kind of a shot in the dark. Maybe they're preparing to announce reactivation fees. Meaning that all of those people who pause their Starlink service seasonally can now either pay $5 per month for standby mode, or they're going to have to pay like a $99 activation fee for canceling and then resuming service. Now, as of right now, you can cancel and resume your Starlink service at no charge, but once they've given all of their customers the opportunity to switch to standby mode, which is happening over the next couple of weeks here, maybe then they introduce a reactivation fee. That would not surprise me at all if it were the case. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories about why Starlink is making this change, and tell me if you're willing to pay $5 a month for standby mode. Bottom line is that pausing your service for $0 is no longer an option. You either have to cancel completely or you have to switch to standby mode for $5 a month, and you have until September 13th to make that decision. If you have a paused dish and you don't go to standby mode by September 13th, Starlink is going to automatically cancel your paused service. And remember, if you're thinking about signing up for Starlink service, you can get a free month of Starlink by using my referral link in my bio or down in the description. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and now I'm going on standby mode until the next video.